Hey there guys, and welcome back to another reaction video with, I guess you can call me a trap VTuber, I guess. Anyway, today we'll be reacting to Time Capsule. Also, it's another Stasis Nightmares. This time it's part 3. I actually intended to make a different video today, but you know, when I saw this in my suggested feed, totally changed my mind. Anyway, let's press play and see what's gonna happen in this Stasis Nightmares. Also, if I have my eyes closed, that's let's just say I'm using my mind's eye, because it has trouble actually tracking. Something has trouble tracking eyes. Or I've always had a bit of trouble with that one. Something tells me she has something to do with it. The year 2100. In about 80 years,
This
I guess.
citizen, Gloria Aquino, deck officer on the spaceship's flight crew, finds herself in the small American city of Oak Ridge, Tennessee in the year 2059.
2059.
As a member of the city government's public relations department,
10 years
she's playing
off.
a key role in the preparation of the 100-year anniversary of the city's inauguration,
Because then you have
which involves
2069.
that has laid dormant since 1959. There is some old lore surrounding the time capsule, in that it is not exactly known why it was placed there, or what the contents are within it either. Library archives of the day it was buried are intriguingly scarce, with entire sections of old newspapers having been removed, in what appeared to be an attempt to almost erase
Red flag right there.
from history.
Or a red
The
herring,
100-year
if you
anniversary
will.
would have possibly gone by completely forgotten had it not been for a team of hospice staff clearing out the possessions of a deceased resident and finding a series of photographs of the event in a photo album. The event showed the city mayor and what appeared to be other dignitaries standing alongside the capsule prior to its descent
Honestly,
into the earth below.
Stasis,
A small newspaper clipping detailed some of the items that lay within.
not gonna lie, but if Scary Stories Animated were to do like something like this, but with an SCP, I bet that video would very quickly be very popular. Because he really has the voice for this thing. He has the atmosphere just down. Anyway, continuing the video.
A wristwatch, a pipe and tobacco, a map of the city, and several other ordinary items of the time.
A talisman with
However,
an owl
one
on it.
item in particular stood out to them all.
To me
It
too.
was some form of carving showing a horned owl hovering over a house.
Doesn't that have something to do
One
with
of the ladies who had Cherokee
Native American
Indian ancestors
stuff?
was horrified at the sight of this, and once calmed down explained that it was an extremely bad omen and should be left where it lies at all costs. The
Yeah.
was insane to buy into such superstition, and were quick to
I mean,
present
it's
their
traditional-
findings to the city
tradition of our
officers so it
people.
could be added to the promotional
You
material
fucking
for the centenary event.
Americans.
Gloria was somewhat taken aback by this find and raised her concerns with the mayor.
Just a dumb
immediately,
joke, don't take it
recommending
seriously.
that the event be cancelled.
Because then you'd actually be a
Word
dumbass.
spread quickly about the potential contents of the time capsule, and the principal chief of the Cherokee tribe condemned the event. The mayor, the organization committee, and the majority of the public, however, completely ignored his protests and continued on.
Cause
with the
American.
preparations. In the nights leading up to the event, odd
No offense,
things began
America.
to happen around the town. Car accidents had increased in frequency, as did workplace accidents and injuries. Many put this down to people being preoccupied with the pending celebration.
Doubt it.
Some reported sightings of a Cherokee medicine man in areas around the city each night, soon after sundown.
Spooky.
The city was divided on these sightings, and the events that people assumed
No shit,
were
I actually have
principal chief supported the
goosebumps.
claims of unfortunate events being connected. but
That's
denied
also a
any
good movie,
involvement.
actually.
He repeated his warnings daily, and it became clear that the town was slowly becoming increasingly paranoid. The
Yeah,
mayor's
don't
office held an
say.
emergency meeting, with the topic of discussion being whether or not to go ahead with the centenary celebrations and the unearthing of the time capsule. The debate carried on for several hours, with the ultimate outcome being that they would indeed go ahead, as the mayor declared it would be ridiculous for them to give in to such unfounded superstition.
Dumbass!
Gloria wrapped up her work for the day and was leaving the city offices when she felt a distinct change in the air around her. She couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, and therefore made her way to her car as quickly as possible. On the drive home, she began to curse herself for not being stronger and failing to stand up to the ignorance in the room at the mayor's office. She
Pretty
knew
much
that
just the
unearthing
mayor
the
who's being a
amulet was
dumbass,
disrespectful
though.
to the Cherokee people, and she felt horrified that it was allowed to go ahead. I'll put a stop to it, she vowed, as she looked into the rear vision mirror to commit this to herself. It was then that she realized she was not alone. The ominous figure that sat behind her had been with her for the duration of the entire journey, and she stood on the brakes as soon as she had realized this.
Holy shit! And a car accident.
Gasping for breath, she managed to croak the obvious question. Who are you? Not important, the shadow hissed back. What is important is that you push for the ceremony to go ahead. It will do more for the plight of the Cherokee people than you can possibly imagine.
Oh, it's that evil guy,
Gloria
right?
was confused.
From the other
I
one.
don't understand, she questioned. There's no need to. Just trust that what gets unearthed on the day will ensure that justice is served. And with that, the next moment she looked, the figure.
It's that one evil guy from the
Gloria
previous
sat in silence, confused
Stasis
and
Nightmares.
alone.
Probably.
Catching her breath and trying to calm her heartbeat, which was painfully near bursting point, she was convinced,
That would
She would
be
endorse the
agonizing,
ceremony.
actually.
for fear of not knowing what would happen next.
Or that, or she was on the verge of having a heart attack.
Unfortunate events continued in the town to the point where the Cherokee were experiencing more frequent persecution than usual, which, along with the silent protest over the impending ceremony, forced them all to temporarily leave the city.
No
The day had
shit.
come. Not a single full-blooded Cherokee Indian would be there to see it. Gloria was of mixed emotions. However, she was convinced that the medicine man she had spoken to had directed her to do the right thing.
Doubt it.
The capsule was excavated from its signposted location and put on display for all in attendance to see. An enormous crowd
Doubt
formed
it.
to witness the opening of the capsule.
They all
They were
die.
intrigued at what the full contents could be.
They're all gonna die, aren't
The
they?
afternoon sky gradually darkened over
With
the
the
city of Oak
moron
Ridge
of a
that day.
mayor
Moments
first.
prior to the capsule being unlatched, the mayor said his token spiel to the crowd, twisted the cap, and lifted the steel housing off.
And
A
then...
brilliant and sudden shock of blinding energy burst forward from the capsule, burning the eyes of every single person unfortunate enough to have been staring at it, and roasting their skin, hair, and clothing along with it. The device that had been
Heyo.
excavated was not the treasured time capsule at all. That was actually still safe and secure much further down in the ground. The crew tasked with the excavation duties had come across, unbeknownst to them, one of the dozens of buried experimental nuclear devices clumsily hidden soon after the Second World War had come to an end.
Ha ha!
Back on the ship, Gloria's eyes wept blood, and the androids were completely perplexed as to what was going on in the A-19 cluster of stasis pods.
There you have your medicine, man. It's that asshole. To be continued. And I'm so looking forward to it, cause honestly I want to see the conclusion of this whole thing. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video of whatever I'll be making. So, yeah. See you there.